First off, I'd like to say thank you to tonight for coming to the 50th golden anniversary of my grandparents, Ramila and Ishwar Garg. My name is Nishant, and I'm their grandson, actually eldest grandson. And tonight we have a special program we have planned for you that's going to start shortly and should take approximately an hour. And no, it does not involve me singing. Okay, maybe just a little bit. And then without further ado, hand it over to my dad.
So hello. So first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. I think I pretty much know everybody here, but in case I haven't met anybody, my name is Raju. My wife is Seema. Seema, if you could stand for a moment. And my claim to fame is I'm the son-in-law. So we are gathered here for the 50th wedding anniversary celebration of my father-in-law and mother-in-law. And the program is, as my son Nishant just said, we have about an hour-long show. We have just one speech, mine, so hopefully it's not too long. Then we have songs, we have some dances, we have some skits, and we're trying to keep it to an hour. And so before I sort of started, I just wanted to first of all welcome everybody. And I also wanted to introduce some guests who come from out of town. We're very fortunate that we had a very good turnout from out-of-town guests, and I wanted to acknowledge that and say thank you for coming. So in no particular sequence, but just the sequence I wrote them down in. The first one is I want to acknowledge Mr. Pyarelal and Tara Jain. So Mr. Pyarelal and Tara Jain are the Masi and Masaji of my mother-in-law and father-in-law. So from my perspective, they're a couple of generations up, 2 generations up. The next I want to acknowledge my mother-in-law's older sister and her husband, Sushil and Nirmala Devi. And these folks come to us all the way from Bombay. The next 2 ladies I want to recognize are the second and third sisters of my mother-in-law. They both come from Bombay, Mrs. Omar Runta and Mrs. Mridula Podar. Is the youngest sister from Pune, Sunila Chaudhary. Okay, and just to round up the siblings, last but definitely not least, is the Mamaji, Pradeep and Angela Daruka. And Mami. Okay, so that takes care of sort of the immediate family. Then we have a whole series of cousins. So I want to start with Raghunandan and Prema Daruka from New Jersey. The next one I want to recognize is Ram Prakash Daruka from Phoenix. Okay, next on my list is all the way from New Jersey, Anurag Daruka and his fiancée, Elena. Okay, keeping with the East Coast theme, the next person is all the way from New Jersey again, Rashmi Mukherjee. Okay, and the next on my list is from Chicago, Arun and Sushila Goyal. So, with that, I want to thank everybody for coming. Radha. Oh, yes, yes. Surprise guest. So all the way from West Virginia, Radha Daruka. Last moment guest, didn't make my list. Okay, so, you know, as my mother-in-law and father-in-law asked me to be the MC for today, I thought to myself, what is it that I want to tell you? What is it I should say? And I thought that I would share from my perspective, my mother-in-law and my father-in-law. So to give you sort of some perspective as to how I view them and our relationship is. So let me start with my father-in-law. So first of all, what I call him is I call him Papaji. I call my dad Dad and I call him Papaji. And one of the things that many of you have observed is that he likes to hike and he likes to walk. He's always very interested in walking and hiking. But even bigger than that, he loves going outdoors. And as I was, me and Seema have been married 23 years. And as we've been talking about stories, and Seema always tells me that when she was young, Papaji used to go camping with Mummy G. They would go out in the middle of nowhere and pitch a tent and camp. And so that camping, hiking, sort of, it's the same love of the outdoors. But the reason I brought that up is when me and Seema got into camping, we borrowed one of their tents. And it was this big tent. And it was nice about this tent that it could sleep 6 people. So when you're camping with a group, it's nice to have a big tent. And Babaji and Mummy Ji always lent it to us. And it's kind of, I think, very symbolic of the way Babaji is. He's kind of a big tent kind of a guy. He does things, he buys things, and then whoever's along for the ride, you know, he's got a generous heart. Come with us, you know, I've got the big tent, you're there. The other thing that people may know about my father-in-law, my Papaji, is that he is very strongly into meditation. In fact, there's a lot of jokes in the family about him going out to Vipassana and meditating. But I think even bigger than that, he's a, from my perspective, he's a Renaissance man. He's a philosophy man. You know, we've had numerous sort of discussions about philosophy. I can relate to you many occasions where we've been driving to some vacation spot, and the kids are in the back, and Mummy Ji and Seema are in the back seat talking. Me and Papaji are having this intense philosophical discussion about some aspect of life. And he's, in that respect, he's a very, you know, he truly is a Renaissance man. And what's kind of unique about that is most people who are like that are very impractical. I mean, they don't really, are not very handy around the house, not handy with instruments. My Papaji is not like that. He's actually quite handy around the house, quite handy with technology. And kind of embarrassing to me anyway, is whenever I have laptop questions or wireless connection issues, I call him instead of the other way. So he's up to speed on the latest things. And so kind of a unique combination in terms of being a Renaissance man, philosophy gets very practical and grounded. So the last thing I want to say about my Papaji is that when I first met him, it was 23 years ago, and I was courting his daughter, Seema, here. And at that time, I started talking to him about investments. And he told me he doesn't believe in the stock market, that he only believes in real estate. And I said, fine, you know, everybody has their opinion. And then I married Seema, and then a few years later, he says, you know, I really like the stock market, and I got this great advisor here. You should really follow him. And then a few years later, you know, I've got a different advisor. You should follow him. And then 3 years later, you know, I got this third guy. He's the right guy. So in the course of my 23 years, I think Papaji's gone through 10 advisors. And the reason I bring that up is not that, you know, that's good or bad. What I find really fascinating, and the thing I admire about him, is that he's able to change. He's able to critically look at a situation and say, this isn't working. I'm not hung up in my old habits. I'm not hung up in traditions. Let's try something new. And for a man of his age, I find that truly, truly remarkable.
Thank you, Raj.
So next I'd like to share some observation about my mother-in-law, as I call her Mummy Ji. So the first thing I noticed about my Mummy Ji was her cooking. So matter of fact, when I married Seema and I went over to their house to meet them, Mummy Ji made me this strange Indian dish, which I had never eaten before. It was called dhokla. And it was the first time I ate it, and I loved it. As a matter of fact, my whole family loved it. And it became quite an inside story that whenever we had a party and Mummy Ji, Papaji were invited, Mummy Ji had a standard dhokla dish. He was going to bring dhokla, and we were all going to enjoy it and eat it. And so over the course of the years, I've gotten to know a lot of dishes, you know, things that, like dhokla and dal bati, kachori. You get the idea. The second thing you notice about my mother-in-law is that she grew up in a big family. As you can see, she's got a lot of sisters and brothers here. So she grew up with sort of these social skills to sort of function in a big family. And with those social skills, she actually has a very strong love of family. So when you meet her, that comes across. And when she came to America, you know, obviously there was no family here. So she transferred that love of family and those social skills into love of friends. So she's one of the women I know who's probably got the biggest social network that I know of. I mean, there is nobody that I know has as many groups as Mamiti has. She has a senior citizen group, she's got a Gujarati group, a Punjabi group, a Sindhi group, a Rajasthan group, a Rana group, you know. I probably forgot a few groups. So, and I think that's one of her skills, is that she's very, very good at talking to people and sort of empathizing with them and then making a network of friends, and that's an admirable trait. And I think that my takeaway from my interactions with my mother-in-law is there have been a lot of events. As you may know, I have a relatively large family here, and we've had a lot of functions. And wherever I give my mother-in-law some particular task, you know, can you bring dhokla? Could you pick up the cake? Could you do this? Could you do that? She always does it. She does it uncomplainingly. She does it cheerfully, and I could always rely on her. I mean, she's one of those people that you could always, you give her something, it's done. So I think that's a very admirable trait, and I admire her for that. So in summary, first of all, I want to wish from myself and Seema's side a very happy 50th anniversary. And if it wasn't for these two, I certainly wouldn't have met Seema, so I have a vested interest in that. We have a nice program today, so you'll see during the course of the day lots of skits and songs and dances. So I hope you'll enjoy that. And we're going to explore some of their life a little bit more in detail. But what I want to close with is that, you know, being from America, you know, the thing that America teaches you is America is a young country, and it sort of admires youth. And the way the culture is here is that you're always looking forward. You're always sort of focused ahead. And one of those sort of results of that is that I want to pass along to Mamiti Babaji. And I know you've had a terrific 50 years, and I think we're all here to celebrate that. But I'm here to tell you that your best days are still ahead.
नदी का किनारा ये चंचल हवा ये रातें ये मौसम नदी का किनारा ये चंचल हवा ये रातें ये मौसम नदी का किनारा ये चंचल हवा
ये क्या बात है आज की चांदनी में। Hello and namaste to everybody. I am Urmila Lunta, as you know, I am Pramila's younger sister. आज मैं आपको एक ऐसी प्रेम कहानी सुनाने जा रही हूँ जिसकी शुरुआत 50 वर्ष पूर्व 20 मई 1958 को हुई थी. I think you will love to see and hear that love story. So here we go. Before that, I request all my artists to come close to me. Are they all here? Okay, fine. शायद मेरी शादी का ख्याल, शायद मेरी शादी का ख्याल दिल में आया है इसी।
अरे ईश्वर, लड़की देखी कैसी लगी भाई?
अरे यार और सब तो ठीक है, लेकिन वो बोलती ही नहीं है। कहीं गूंगी तो नहीं है?
अरे तू वैसे ही घबरा रहा है, शर्मा रही होगी। बस बात यह है, बंबई की लड़की नीमच में कैसे चलेगी?
बम्बई की लड़की और शर्माए, ये कैसे हो सकता है? फिर भी ठीक है, मेरी तरफ से हाँ समझ ही लो, आगे जाके देखते हैं क्या होता है।
के साथ हम साथ साथ हैं, जन्मों के साथ हम साथ साथ हैं।
और नानी हो बजाए सब रस्मों से बनी है जगह में दिल से दिल की सगाई।
दादा तेरी मेरी जो तुमको हो पसंद वही बात करेंगे, तुम दिन को अगर रात कहो रात कहेंगे, जो तुमको। लेकिन सिल्वर जुबली आते आते एक पार्टनर यदि दिन को दिन भी कहे तो दूसरा उसको रात कहता है।
सुनिए, देखिए कितना अच्छा पैकेज टूर है रशिया का। और ये साउथ अफ्रीका का तो और भी अच्छा है। ओहो, सुबह से तो बैठे हैं, पता नहीं ये मेडिटेशन कब तक चलेगा।
अरे क्या बात है, कोई अर्थक्वेक आया है, कोई हरिकेन आया है, बात क्या है?
इसका मतलब आपने मेरी कोई बात ही नहीं सुनी।
भाई मैं जब मेडिटेशन करता हूँ तो
मेरी मखना मेरी सोनी ये है चल बलिए, ये आए बार बार दिल ये गाए, बार बार दिन ये आए, बार बार दिल ये गाए, तू जिए हजारों साल ये मेरी है आरज़ू, बार दिन ये आए, बार बार दिल से तुझको मुझको है दिल का तो ये।
हेलो एवरीबॉडी, सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। आई एम मोहनलाल गर्ग, ए मेंबर ऑफ पीएस फैमिली ऑफ नीमच एंड मंदसौर ऑफ इंडिया। आई सी Jijaji is youngest of 7 siblings.
मेरा दीवानापन है या मोहब्बत का सुरूर, तू न पहचाने तो है ये तेरी नजरों का कसूर, ये मेरा ऐसे वीराने में भूखे मर जाएंगे हम, ऐसे वीराने में नजरों का कसूर, ये मेरा दीवानापन है, ये मेरा दीवानापन।
Many happy returns of the day. आप दोनों ने साथ साथ चलते हुए शादी के 50 वर्ष पूरे किए हैं। ये वर्ष बहुत लंबे भी रहे होंगे और बहुत कठिन भी। आप दोनों को इस अवसर पर तारुका फैमिली की तरफ से बहुत बहुत बधाइयाँ, और हम सब भाई बहन शुभकामना करते हैं कि आप इसी तरह हंसते हुए, खुशी से भरे हुए और हेल्दी रहते हुए डायमंड एनिवर्सरी की तरफ बढ़ें। फिर से एक बार कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन एंड बाय बाय।
कैसा ये इश्क है, कैसे जज्बात का अपना सैलाब है, बदले आते बदली बातें
हाँ, सबसे पहले तो मैं आप सबसे माफ़ी चाहूँगा। मुझ में और औरंगजेब में एक ही कॉमन बात थी, हम दोनों को डांस नहीं आता। मैं आपके 5-6 मिनट लूँगा और कोशिश करूँगा आपको एंटरटेन कर सकूँ। सबसे पहले मैं इस सुनहरी और रेशमी शाम में आपको नमन करता हूँ। आज लगता है जुबलीस का दिन है। मिसेज एंड मिस्टर गर्ग, उनकी गोल्डन जुबली है तो मेरी सिल्वर जुबली है।
आप सबको मेरा नमस्कार स्वीकार हो और हमारे आदरणीय ईश्वर गर्ग साहब प्रमीला जी को बहुत बहुत बधाई। मैं 1976 से इस कपल को, जोड़े को जानती हूँ और आज तक ऐसे लगता है कल की बात है। और मैं तो परिवार में, प्रमीला जी के परिवार में आती हूँ। निर्मला जी, प्रमीला जी, उर्मिला जी, मृदुला जी, सुनीला जी।
This was all surprise to me. They were practicing all this skit and all that in a closed room, and I and we both were strictly prohibited. So I'm glad you surprised me very much. I had no idea that these folks have such a great talent. The very first show when Sanjeev walked with the glasses, I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. And thank you, Urmila ji. I had no idea that she and Mridula, my youngest, not youngest, but Saliha, they did a great job of writing the skit, and then they practiced all the skits in a very short time because the kids were here and they just came from Bombay. So thank you very much, and I'm very, very happy to see this. Yeah. Then I'm also surprised that Ram Prakash entertainment was fantastic, and one small note that Ram Prakash is son of Shri Ramji Bhai Sahab, who is responsible for our matchmaking. He was in Bhilwara, a small town close to Neemaj, and my Jijaji Ratanlal ji and Shri Ramji Bhai Sahab, they were very close friends. And they thought, why not we take advantage of our friendship and get these kids married. So then I was told, I went to Bombay just like the drama was prepared here. I looked at her and I said, I had to do something. And it turned out very, very good. And thank you very much. Thank you. Right. And now I like to say that, like Raju said, that she is very much into friends and very much into her relatives, sisters and brothers. That has offered me a big challenge in my life, because it has been very hard to distract her from them and attract towards me. I tell you, it was not an easy job. The other time, the drama which they made, that Girdhari and Chanda, that he is meditating, I am meditating, and she comes and says, well, you want to go to Africa or Russia? Well, it happened that she asked me whether you want to go to Russia or China. I said, of course, both places. The drama fell there. The drama fell there. That was not a very true picture. And whenever she comes, I'm meditating, I stand up. I said, meditation or no meditation, you are here. So I will take care of you first. The slideshow, simply amazing. Yesterday, Sanjeev was working on computer and he said, Dad, you cannot see it, it's a surprise to you. So I said, okay. I had no idea that they can do such a beautiful job. I had no idea. I have seen some weddings, just recently other day wedding, which was, they had prepared professionally. And I tell you, this is 10 times better than the professional show which I have seen. I am simply amazed. Fantastic. Neeraj, you did a great job. All right. Now I like to offer my sincere thanks to all the folks who came here to celebrate this milestone of my life and give us an opportunity to enjoy this life and remember forever. Like Raju already introduced, my all relatives who came from long distances. some from India, some from New Jersey, Arizona, and all other places. And I thank you all of them. Appreciate your taking the time and effort and money and all that to come and join us and encourage us. And thank you very much. I also thank you to all my friends. I can see so many, almost everybody. We almost all of us know each other for last several years. And I thank you very much to take the time and travel on this Sunday evening and join us. My special thanks to those who helped me to do the preparation work. My very special thanks goes to Aditya Gupta and Manu Gupta and Neeraj and all these people and Seema. They came here early. They spent a lot of time in setting up the audio and video. Some difficulties came and still they overcome that difficulty and set up such a beautiful system. Very special thanks to Chanda Gupta for coming to do the decoration on the table, which you see that turned out very good. Thanks to all of those people who helped me to take the photographs. And Ashu, he is taking photograph. Uday, Pradeep, and thank you very much, all of them. Cake, please.
Congratulations, Pamela.